Alrighty, let's jump over to our plays of the night. Starting off with this brief, Frontiers' Reed Duncan throw this one up to the moon. Zachariah Anderson is the lone Falcon downfield and comes up with it. And for that huge cannon, he had to flex on everybody that was down there that couldn't cover him on that play.
Okay, so that was a great play, Vin, but check this out. West Lafayette's one of several touchdowns that were called back tonight, but we aren't going to look at the QB throwing in front of the line of scrimmage. We're going to talk about the run made by Benny Speaker. After being pushed, he managed to not only stay in bounds, but stay on his feet to scoot himself in the end zone to, well, would widen his team's lead, but like I said before, it was called back, but still, it was an excellent play regardless. So now that we are done with our plays, we are going to take a look at our game of the week, saving the best for last with Sports 18's Kelly Hallinan.
This week's game of the week was a big one, the sword game between Harrison and McCutcheon. The Raiders jumped out to a 22-0 lead in the first quarter and never looked back. Despite a scoreless second half, the sword stays at Harrison. The Mavericks run out and take their home field, and both teams are ready to go.
Let's go Raiders!
Harrison strikes first, Calix Dillon to Chris Ferguson, who runs 8 yards and scores. Harrison gets the 2-point conversion, and they go up 8-0. Now Dillon deep to Jackson Swathwood, who gets to the house for a touchdown. Raiders up by 15, and fans are on their feet. Harrison back at it again. It's a high snap, but Dillon gets it and gives it to Carter Canoy. He uses his legs and gets into the end zone to give the Raiders a 22-0 lead. Now McCutcheon on offense. Owen Smith an 80-yard bomb to Aiden Reiser for a Mavs touchdown. McCutcheon sideline clearly excited about that one. And here's another crazy play. Smith's pass bounces off of Parker Sorrells and into the hands of Shamar Ray, who scores. McCutcheon trailing 22-13. But the Raiders extend their lead right before the half. It's Canoy again from Dillon. He makes the catch and runs, and it's redemption from his previous kickoff return touchdown that was called back. Harrison up 30-13 at the break, and that's the last score of the night. The second half was a defensive battle. Here's a nice pick from Jack Gonzalez, and the Raiders are starting to feel it. Harrison wins 30-13 and keep the coveted sword.
Blocking was great, just open pass for me, got me to the end zone, and we were just a faster, stronger team than them tonight, and it showed. Oh man, I thought I scored, and then I saw the flags. I was kind of bummed, but we came back, we scored again, so it was all right. 4 years having the sword is great, I love it, yeah.
All around on defense, the D-line was getting good pressure. We kept a cool head, even though we felt like we were getting held and stuff, but we kept a cool head, and we just came as one, as a unit, so that's good. For Crosstown rivals, that's what you want to do always. Feels good.
Reporting at McCutcheon for Game of the Week, Kelly Hallinan, Sports 18.
All right, now that we just saw the game of the week, we have to introduce our special guest, head coach Terry Peebles of the Harrison Raiders. And yes! We got the sword here too! I guess we have two special guests here tonight.
There, exactly.
Yeah.
So I have to ask first and foremost, what do you think about having the sword for the last 4 years? How do your team feel, and how do the seniors kind of feel about keeping this the entire time they've been at Harrison?
It's a big deal. It's a very big deal for the community, our kids. Our conference sometimes isn't the most competitive conference, but this game always is. No matter what happens, no matter what the score is, we always go in there thinking, hey, there's a chance things could go good, things could go bad. Tonight our kids played really, really hard. We made a lot of mistakes, but our kids played hard, and we were very happy to come out with the win.
Yeah, Coach, speaking of the community, it looked absolutely jam-packed, so much energy. What is it like playing in that atmosphere for the sword game?
It was unbelievable. They had a light show going on with their lights and stuff like that. Their stadium's really, really nice. The visitors' locker rooms are probably the nicest we go to. So the whole thing is done first class. So we weren't there 2 years ago. The game was canceled because of a COVID issue, so we hadn't been there in 4 or 5 years. So it was a lot nicer now than it was back then, but we're just happy to come out with the victory.
Okay, so I really want to talk about that play that we literally just saw a couple minutes ago of the ball getting thrown, hitting a player's back, getting caught, and getting run in. What was kind of going through your mind during that play?
Well, we contested the throw, and the kid made a great play on it. It would have been a pass breakup had it not bounced up in the air and one of their guys caught it and ran it in for a touchdown. At that point, I was a little bit worried that the stars were stacked against us, and here they come, because they were in a little bit of a comeback right there. But again, our kids did a really good job of just fighting. They had grit, and they were able to maintain the lead, and things worked out well.
Yeah, and Coach, we saw that both teams didn't manage to score in that second half, but you guys were still able to hold on and get that win. How does that feel to be able to keep everything compact and hold it down to make sure you guys come out with the sword today?
Well, I got a little conservative with my play calling in the second half and probably didn't do the best job, or didn't do as good a job as I probably could have, but our defense really helped us out, excuse me, and just played great. In the second half, they were stout. We gave up maybe a couple first downs, but for the most part, it was a punt back and forth, for both teams. And then Jack Gonzalez had the really nice interception there at the end. So, anytime you play a rival, it's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a tight game. We're just, happy that we came out on top.
So what lessons are you taking from this game to move forward with the rest of your season? Because obviously there's still a lot of time left to play.
We got to get better. We had double-digit penalties, big penalties, 10, 15-yard penalties that really cost us. I think at one point in the game we had about a 1st and 42, which is not normal. Wow. But we had, we had shot ourselves in the foot. So sometimes it's good to win but not play great, because you have an opportunity to go back and look at some things that you can fix. And I know throughout the rest of the conference season, really, especially the game in 2 weeks, if we don't play better, it could be a problem.
Well, definitely celebrate that sword game tonight with.
Absolutely.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, we will. That's it for Friday Night Frenzy Week 4. We will see you back later, and hopefully we can get the sword back on the show at some point. Have a great night. Click on the sports tab for scores and highlights.